Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well today. My name is Emily Starnes and this is my brief theory video lecture on gerontology's exchange theory. Exchange theory was first applied to gerontology by J. David Martin in 1971 to explain family patterns when younger relatives visited older generations such as grandparents, parents, and great-grandparents. Older adults with less power often have younger relatives that might feel reluctant to visit them as an obligation or a duty, or not visit at all because of prior time constraints or commitments. The parents and grandparents in this situation can use complaints, but their families would be less enthusiastic to visit, and therefore appreciation for them would decrease. On the flip side, older adults with more power, like finances or entertainment value because of interesting stories and life lessons, can use the influences and resources at their disposal to persuade others to visit and enjoy spending time with them. Individuals, according to exchange theory, along with group actions, are motivated by minimizing cost and maximizing reward. The relationships and interactions according to exchange theory, will continue if more rewards are gained than costs. In dependent relationships, the person that is reliant on another party eventually loses power. This explains why increased interactions between younger and older generations in terms of decrease in terms of offered resources. As older adults age, they are often perceived as having less to offer. Power from exchange theory comes from these imbalances, and such imbalances can also be applied to roles, skills, and resources that accompany the aging process. Now, there are three key principles of exchange theory that were outlined in the chapter that we had to read over the weekend. The first is the norm of reciprocity, which is keeping relationships balanced with equivalent exchange of goods and deeds. This is similar to bartering and trading, such as what happens in business and relationships with family and friends. The second, key principle is a norm of beneficence, which is when the giving person does not expect anything material or anything extra in return except for love and gratitude. This can be applied to care providers and chronic care nurses that were studied by Bryant and Fernald in 1997. And in 1984, Dowd argued the very old population benefits the most from the norm of beneficence, particularly in social relationships that are available from the government and other means like Meals on Wheels, Medicaid, and social services, which are more available to this old population. And then the equity theory was formed by Goldner in 1960. Then this states that people react negatively to benefits that are too small or too large, also known as under-benefiting or over-benefiting. The balance in this equity theory is the moral standard that people should strive to achieve at all times. However, studies have shown that people express more concern with receiving too many benefits, such as over-benefiting, or being a recipient in general. Examples that were outlined in this chapter are studies in 1995 involving African American women along with older adults in the Midwest and Appalachia. And these studies came from McCullough and Kivett and Uehara. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. And this could also be why someone insists that a present isn't needed during like an occasion that's not a holiday, or instead of just being spur of the moment. They might say that they didn't need to do that, or that the recipient shouldn't have. Kind of like, oh, y'all shouldn't have. Anyway, now that we got through the meat and potatoes of the exchange theory from the article, I don't have that many critiques on it. Yes, it is a cold and calculating and logical method that is businesslike and involves bartering. It doesn't really overlook any concepts, but people might not always think in terms of trade-offs when weighing options, depending on their personalities. A case in point being if someone is emotional and very affectionate versus being mostly analytical and rational in their daily lives. Exchange theory can also be applied to many areas of life and fields outside of gerontology. It's useful in describing interactions for leadership, friendships, and family interactions, according to the book, which, after reading this section, I wholeheartedly agree. And this could also be applied to individuals, small groups, or societies and communities, so it can cover all aspects of the socio-ecological model and interactions that are involved with that. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and that is my report on the exchange theory. Have a good day.